This is always fun. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Okay. How's it going, Mike? the math, right? The math book. What have I read since the math book? God, I don't know. Um, Kant, a lot of Kant. Jesus, I have no idea. I have no idea. Um, whatever episodes I've done since then, I guess, is what I've read. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else. Sorry, I'm still just trying to figure this out because I'm extremely deficient when it comes to everything technology, including this microphone. It's probably not nearly as well as it. Whatever. I'm sure it's all right. What with technology? Yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst. I just don't. I don't understand. I don't even know what there is to understand. It's like it's just so far removed from me that I wouldn't even know how to penetrate it. Like I watch like TikToks for fun, and it's just a world that is beyond my comprehension. I just severely lack all literacy when it comes to technology. Come here, cat. This is my cat. This is one of my cats. I don't think she likes this. Hey, look, you're on the thing there. Okay, no, she does not like that. She'll probably pop up again and jump on me. Yours is a SAS machine? Yeah. Anyways, so technology is impossible. Yeah. Same with this one. This one's a little demon, but she'll also like just have these really extreme bouts of like attachment that are difficult at times because it's like too much, and then she'll bite the shit out of me or swat my hand or something. So she's horrible like that, but she's a good cat. Yeah, yeah. So the way it's funny, the way I'm doing this is I'm recording it on my phone, but I'm reading the comments on my computer and there's a delay. So I don't know if that translates into anything weird, like if I have a delayed reaction in my responses, but it's Actually, no, it's probably fine because it probably just takes longer to transmit to you, and then I just read your questions live, and whatever. I'm rambling. Yeah, manual. Yeah. Hi, Praful. Yeah, it's it's a good book. Um, but yeah, right. McLuhan has that whole thing about hot and cool media. Um, I don't remember what cool means. If you'd like to enlighten me, Mike, I would appreciate it a lot. Um, but yeah, look at that, 9 people. Wow. Say hi, everyone, if you want. Yeah, Praful. Yeah, 1,000 years of nonlinear history. I have to read that one again. Hey, Thomas, it's good to see you. Or well, at least your thumbnail, your little picture. Yeah, but anyways, to go back to that, 1,000 years of a nonlinear history is the only Delanda book I've read, and it's I have to read it again because I read it probably 3 years ago now or so, and it went right over my head. Oh, right, yeah, cool, yeah. That's right. Okay, yeah, okay. Now I'm confused. Praful, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that means. How do you envelop a medium? Like with like like TikTok is an example of cool media because you envelop it. What does that mean? Oh, okay. Okay. Because the other thing that's reminding me of is like when McLuhan goes on about the the transition from the eye to the ear, where there was a point in human history when the ear reigned supreme because you had to always be listening to what was going on around you, or else you'd die. Whereas with the eye, you're only going to be looking at what's in front of you, immediately in front of you, which is better for like, reading, the world of the word as opposed to, you know, the, the the sensory world around you. Oh yeah, okay. Other people. Robert, Huda. Hello. And I hope you like this very strategic positioning of my mirror piece in the background with that photo, or the photo with that drapery, that flag, very conveniently placed at in front of me, but you could see it through the mirror. So you just started philosophy and you're just jumping right into Kant, huh? Oh my God. The first critique is the critique of pure reason is, yeah. Marxist capital, sure. The critique of pure reason is not an easy text to jump right into. I had so much trouble with that, and I did it on here on this channel, and it was not good. I treated the second and third critiques, the critique of practical reason and the critique of judgment, a lot better. But the critique of pure reason I did not do justice to. I didn't explain what the categories did, why they were important. So I wouldn't, not that you didn't say you were going to do this, but definitely don't go looking there for help. I feel like I would probably have made it worse. Um, God, yeah. Yeah, oh God. You're gonna, that's gonna be a rough haul for you to get to capital. Even capital's not that easy. Like, don't, I hope you don't go through this and think like, oh wow, I got through Kant. Personally, I found Hegel better than Kant, or at least kind of easier to get into and understand like immediately. And that isn't an opinion that I think a lot of people share. So don't take my word for it. But then when you get to capital, it'll not be as easy as maybe you might think coming out of Kant and Hegel. But I don't know. Yeah. You find Deleuze easier? I don't think I've. Oh, I have read Deleuze on his own with the cinema books, and I didn't understand a fucking word. Secondary sources for Kant? Yeah, Spark Notes, Wikipedia. Whatever is gonna figure it out for you. But I thought you said you found Deleuze easier than any of them. Like, insofar as he gives you like a blank slate upon which you can kind of impose your own understanding. Uh yeah, I'm reading A Thousand Plateaus now because next week I'm starting to do that whole thing. So next week is I'm presenting chapters 1, 2, and 3, and then the week after that is 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then after that, from there. I haven't read that one, Praful. Yeah, I've A Thousand Plateaus coming, so stay tuned for that next week. Oh shit, 15 of y'all. If you heard that, that was my cat. And I don't know how to make this landscape. Oh wait, no, that'd be so much better. If does this make it landscape? Oh no, it just does that. Okay, see, I'm deficient. I'm really the worst with technology. Really the worst. And I have no idea how to make this. I spend my time thinking about. Jesus. Yeah, yeah, Tom. That's what I'm thinking. But like, I also don't want to start like leaning in and scrolling through and making sure. No, I'll do it. I'll do it. Y'all will forgive me for this, I hope. You can see the rest of this room here. Yeah, get the real look at what's going on behind the scenes. So, still the same thing. You know what? We're just going to go right back to it. And that'll be it. That'll be it. So yeah, sorry, tuned out for a second there because of my stupid phone. Um, no, sorry, phone's not stupid. It's a smartphone. I'm stupid. So all right, let me just jump back here. Any more cyberfem, xenofem stuff on the way? Like besides Haraway? I don't know. Give me suggestions. I would love to take that stuff on, Robert. Are there any philosophy graduates who are good with tech? I've never seen one. To make it even worse, I'm a media studies doctoral student, so for all intents and purposes, I should be better with tech. Uh, Petros, hey Petros. I learned that reading philosophy is fun, and that's cool. I feel like I'm a detective or something, running around the internet finding clues to untangle Kant's web, his evil web of reason. Yeah, or his critique of reason. Don't forget, pure reason that is. Findings. Yeah, there is a Discord Aussie. It's for patrons. Uh, Zuboff, no, I haven't read that, but it reminds me of like Cernacek on platform capitalism, and Moscow has that book. God, what's it called? Whatever it's called, which I've read. But no, I haven't read that one. Yeah, something. Yeah, definitely, Thomas. Something to figure out for next time. I'll figure my life out and get my shit together. I actually, much to my chagrin, I haven't read Irigaray, which is bad. I need to do that. Like, I need to craft out some time to actually read Irigaray because she's obviously super important in all this stuff. So, yeah. Let's see. Is this lighting better if I turn that off, or is this too dark? Uh, Here I am waiting to see if my latency is gonna give me something nice. Oh, that is a little better. Yeah, this is better. Definitely better. Much better. Um, it's easier on my eyes. So yeah, where's everyone from right now? I'm so curious. Where is everyone? Calgary. Holy shit. Wait, okay. So we got Calgary. Cool. I have friends from Calgary. London, is that London, England? And Mike, where are you from in Southern Ontario? You don't have to give out your address, but like I'm from Southern Ontario as well. So unless have we talked about this already? I don't know. Um, Slovenia, cool. Atlanta, by the border. What are you down? You're probably down by like Windsor or something. Anyways, I'm in London, Ontario, so close. Um, okay, let me just ramble here. Reading between a screen, Kindle, or book. Uh, from Australia. God, what time is it there? It's probably like eight a.m. Oh, so that's not that bad. 8:20, depending on which side of the mainland you're on. If you're, anyways, um, I actually am not picky. I think I prefer to read. I don't think. I definitely prefer to read in print, but I don't ever shy away from reading online just because I can't afford to buy books. It's just so expensive. And currently it's a pain because of COVID to go to the library. Uh, do you sometimes compare a text? I have in like academic writings because some mostly in relation to Baudrillard's work, because some of the approaches to that are interesting. Like this is just something I think worth saying. There were two kind of main, really one and a couple of other main translators across Baudrillard's work, and he wrote like 40 books. But that would be like Chris Turner, Mike Gain. Really, Chris Turner is the big Baudrillardian translator. But his biggest books, I think, I'm just kind of putting this out there, his biggest books, like Simulacra and Simulation, Symbolic Exchange and Death, and Seduction, and I think that's it, were all translated by people who only translated one of his texts. And so eventually I want to go through and do like a really, like in 40 years when I'm retired, if I ever have a job, go through and just kind of compare how their interpretations of the text and their translations have kind of set the timber for how his work has been taken up, because they're the most, popular texts. But yeah, I have a little bit. How would you suggest starting with DNG? I find them extremely difficult, even with introductory material. So that's Deleuze and Guattari. I started off with a reading group, and that helped me out. My first kind of foray into Deleuze and Guattari was through the reading group on Anti-Oedipus. So that, okay, my cat's making another guest appearance. Oh, she doesn't like that. Do you want to leave? Oh. Goodbye. Yeah, my first kind of foray into DNG was with a reading group with Anti-Oedipus, which helped a lot. But as far as like introductory stuff, God, every secondary piece of like literature is gonna make it more complicated, because like there's just such I don't know, it's just so competitive, and people try to use the most exclusionary vocabulary and ideas that make it really difficult to penetrate, unless you happen to be versed in this very specific field. So that makes it all the more difficult. Like, there are a lot of great YouTube videos on it. I haven't really I haven't looked up that many for Deleuze and Guattari. But I'm sure there are some I've seen that are really great, like YouTube videos that I think would help you out. Yeah, Thomas, you're in Montreal. Yeah, still in Montreal there, huh? Good for you. Gainesville, Florida. I've never been down there. I've been to Florida, but I've never been there. Ohio. Tin soldiers and Nixon's coming. By the border, UK. Vancouver. Oh, I'm happy to hear that, Lawrence. Thank you for the kind words. Do I speak French? My French is not worth remarking upon, because it's crap. But I work on it, but it's not very good. Like, I wouldn't dare repeat it to you right now. What kind of career do you want to have? Yeah, preferable. Yeah. John David Ebert. Yeah. He does. His stuff is good, for sure. His stuff is really good. Yeah. I forgot about him. What kind of career do you want to have? I mean, working in the university would be cool, but that's not very likely, given the present situation. But I don't know, something with consistency and security would be nice. I'm not totally picky. Yeah, Delanda has some good things on DNG, and if you speak Spanish, cool. Delanda is a Deleuze and Guattari like hotshot. His book, A Thousand Years Nonlinear History, is definitely indebted to A Thousand Plateaus. But you might like Hume and Spinoza books on him. I don't have that background, but Spinoza's a Manichean, and yeah. I spent a year in Saigon, Vietnam. This is my second return to Montreal. Yeah, I'd love to visit Vietnam. Thomas. Start a Revolution. My own philosophy book. That's hard because I don't consider myself a philosopher in any stretch of the imagination. I'm more a historian of philosophy in that I can regurgitate what other people have said, but I don't have very many of my own novel insights that I could feel like I could write a book about. you know, it's so writing a philosophy book. I guess the short answer is yes, in that I would like to write. I got a few things in mind. I guess what my dissertation that I'm working on now has a lot of philosophy in it, but it's mostly kind of media studies-y type historical thing. Yeah. Yeah. Petros, yeah. Well, I'm happy to hear it. I just think that there's too much of an ego associated with these ideas that try to maintain the kind of ivory tower of academic knowledge, and I just spent so much time hearing it and growing quite sick of it, and wanting to have a way to make these ideas make sense, with normal words. Do I put any stock in dreams? No, definitely not in the Freudian or Jungian sense. Of course, there's significance to dreams, whether or not it points to some kind of Oedipal dynamic, or I don't even know what the Jungian sense is, some archetypical one. I don't know what it is. I've never read any Jung. I don't really put a lot of weight on that. It just seems too reductive to me. I'm definitely influenced in that way by Deleuze and Guattari, and Foucault as well. But Foucault, interestingly, in the third volume of The History of Sexuality, which I haven't done on here yet, he looks at dreams in interesting ways, or at least looks at the history of the study of dreams that far antedates Freud, looking back to the Greeks in their treatment of what is called oneric. I don't know how to pronounce that. Oneiric. Oneric or something, which is the study of dreams, and how this has a very long history. And it's super interesting. But no, otherwise, no, I don't really put any stock into that. How does philosophy come into my dissertation, if that's okay? Well, I look at conspiracy theories, and I don't I don't really mention it in a whole lot of detail because it's always changing, right, to some extent. But just roughly looking at the way that conspiracy theories have been positioned in relation to truth, and whether or not they are so far apart, at least in the way that we think truth is arrived at today. Are there points of intersection between conspiracy theories and between truth? Yeah, dreamlike, sure. Yeah, Petros, great. Are there any philosophy pods you like or listen to? No, I don't consume any other kind of philosophy content. With that being said, I with the exceptions of ContraPoints, I don't really like Philosophy Tube that much. What are some other ones? There's Plastic Pills, who bothered me because they totally got Baudrillard backwards in not even a a debatable way, just a totally totally misconstrued one very important part in Baudrillard's work. But otherwise, I think that what like plastic pills and theory plebe, John David Ebert or the Ebert, he does great stuff. Like all those people, they're doing like wonderful things. And yeah, I don't really watch that a lot of their stuff. One Dime just did a video on Baudrillard that was good. But as far as like podcasts I consume, I consume pretty much just Crime Junkie and Supernatural with Ashley Flowers, pretty much exclusively. And I like Stuff You Should Know, mostly because I spend hours and hours and hours a day reading this stuff, and writing on it, that I don't really, when I'm listening to podcasts, I don't want to think about this stuff at all. So I just try to really get it out of my head. Innes said the ivory tower already became the ivory lab. Now the lab is a satellite. Yeah, yeah. Innes had his own criticisms of academia for sure. Definitely. McLuhan a little bit. I mean, it's hard. Yeah, you should check out PragerU. But yeah, I know PragerU. Jesus. Does McLuhan factor into your dissertation at all? Not really. I guess there's a how have conspiracy theories their circulation changed in relation to electronic media? What does that necessarily mean? Now, with that being said, I think I will take some time and actually go through and read McLuhan in more detail, because there are some weird moments in McLuhan that I might be able to actually like build from, because McLuhan was a weird dude. Like, I don't know if you haven't read any of his stuff, McLuhan was a weird dude. Like, he definitely didn't fit in with that crowd in like the 50s. He was strange. Yeah. So yeah, sorry, PragerU. I don't have any patience for that at all. Academia is incestuous and thus rotten. I wish we could vent more about it. Academia, I can go on and on and on about academia. It really, there are so many problems with it. It's just a grant writing institution. Like, is all it is. It is an institution in which experts and some of the most brightest minds currently are just destroyed because of austerity cuts, making it so much more difficult for them to actually get any of their own work done, because they have to be teaching so many more courses. They have to spend a lot more time like trying to get grant funding, and it's tough bag. You read with anyone before making a video about it? Not sometimes. Sometimes I do, Thomas. Like if I'm stumped on something, and because I'm surrounded by people who are a lot smarter than me and know a lot more about this stuff. If there's anything I'm like kind of confused about, I'll kind of check in. But one of the things that I never do is just plagiarize what they say, and I don't even like paraphrase. Most of the time, what I do is I make sure I know something's right, but if I'm a little bit curious, I ask someone, and if they confirm it, then I just say it in my own words. I'm like, oh yeah, good. But if someone changes my mind about something, then I'll often just skip that, presenting that thing. Because I'm like, okay, no, I can't just pawn this off as though I thought of this, or like I'm making sense of this without giving credit to someone. It just seems not fair. Laws of Media. I haven't read that one. I've just read the extensions or the Understanding Media, and that might be a chat. I don't even remember. Zurl, So he was a cyborg like Bumblebee. Who was a cyborg? He spoke using different poems and articles weaved in. I don't know. Zero books. Zero. Okay. Um, can I ask what kind of conspiracy theory you were working on? Um, I so I'm not really focusing on any because you can't. It's really difficult to write on them because they're always changing. Even if you picked a specific conspiracy theory, let's say 9/11 was an inside job, for example, or COVID, the pandemic, it was created by humans in order to instill like global rule. You could not, in the span of a dissertation, so like 200 pages, expound upon all of the different areas that necessarily implicates. It couldn't be done. Loaf pile, that's something I wrestle with. There are so many people that do that. Like I said, philosophy tube, ContraPoints, plastic pills, and theory plebe. Like all these people, they do that really well, a lot better than I ever could. So I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't feel like I have that ability. And part of me is also like I don't want to do an injustice to any of these issues. And I do like just sticking with what I'm doing. Like if I wanted to just amass tons of views, I would, be like talking about the really in the now events. But I'm really more interested in developing like a library or a compendium of different books on here to help people because they're going to be, either they have to read them for a course or, they don't have the time to read these ideas because of time constraints because they have, mouths to feed or something. And I just wanted these ideas to be accessible instead of, just talking about it now and just like taking little bits from philosophers to kind of fit my narrative and then apply them. So probably not. QAnon, yeah, for sure. Those guys are something else. But not all that surprising. I mean, it'd be wrong to be surprised by any of this. Conspiracy theories have been around for a very long time, and I think we make the mistake of being like, "Oh my God, this new thing has emerged," as though they aren't systemic issues sprouting from just a general lack of like. Well, it's not even true. It's not even a lack of education, but for some reason, people believe this stuff, even the most educated. So I don't know. I mentioned that seems like their style. Like, what does loaf pile? Like, talking about. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'll speed this up. Why do you keep ignoring that, Dylan? You clown. Ben Shapiro's a clown. I would debate that clown any day. I'm kidding. They have millions of views. Are they bots? No. I think that for PragerU, no. I think that people believe that. And I don't think all of what PragerU says is wrong. There's a quote out there. I don't know who says it, but it goes like, in order for misinformation to be effective, it needs to be 95% right. Which is, there's a lot of truth to that, in that a lot of what is said has these kernels of truth, and that is enough to mobilize people. Yeah. Fave, most important Baudrillard books. For me, for a critique of in order, for a critique of the political economy of the sign, The Mirror of Production, Symbolic Exchange and Death, Seduction, The Perfect Crime. I know I jumped over a bunch there. and then probably simulacra and simulation, just because it's so popular. But I don't find it all that useful. Yeah, yeah. Why do I think there's such a profusion? Apparently, Nick, apparently that, yeah, from your question, I'm getting the hint that it's like gotten worse, whereas that's apparently not the case. Conspiracy theories have remained pretty stagnant over the past century, which might seem totally weird, but belief in conspiracy theories apparently hasn't actually increased, according to the literature, which would sow some doubts. And I have my doubts as well. But it's hard to say. It's hard to navigate that. Too bad Foucault didn't live to see what. Oh, I think he was like very much aware of what was going on with, he knew everything about. I mean, he was writing about the same thing happening to the prison, like becoming this kind of profit-driven thing. At least that's one part of it. So I think that he had the foresight to anticipate that. McLuhan as a cyborg? Yeah, sure. Still stuck on the Gutenberg Galaxy. I'm trying to read it alongside Walter Ong's Orality and Literacy. Yeah, I haven't read Ong. I think I tried and it's too boring. But yeah, the Gutenberg Galaxy, sure. I had to read excerpts of that. The conspiracies are content. Yeah, sure. Or they're media. They're media that contain political messages that are the content of the conspiracy theories medium. Do you think at all about the structure or character of social media, or do you know of any thinkers' texts that investigate it? Hard to explain, but I'm interested in it. Structure or character of social media. Structure or character of social media. I don't know. There are a bunch of like books popping up now. In fact, it's funny. We're talking about conspiracy theories. I have this conspiracy theory book looking me right in the eye. If I can just bring it up here. No. So this is one conspiracy theory book that I engage with, and I disagree with vehemently, but it's good. I recommend it. I disagree, but I recommend it. It is pretty critical of like everything right wing, and I am in no way a right wing apologist, but it seems too reductive to really grasp the nuances of like conspiracy theories. And then there's this one that is just a total repudiation of conspiracy theories. If you're interested in something that just totally discredits conspiracy theories, then this is your bag. I'm not putting my cards out on the table. You can't really see the name. It's Qasim Qassam. And I have a few other ones. Some that are more fair than others, but yeah. But yeah, to go back, social media, not that I can think of. You think I helped you with Baudrillard? How did you hear that? Lost in Time. I think his books will turn any Nazi into a communist. I don't know if that would be the case. He's like, Baudrillard was definitely not a huge fan of anything communism, but he was not a fan of that. So I don't know how you'd go from one to the other. He didn't like either. He wasn't like a fascist, but how scripted are your videos? Do you ever go on a spontaneous tangent and edit it out of your viewers for your viewers' sake? Thanks for answering my questions, bud. Oh man, Thomas, no problem. Okay. I'm getting way behind. I don't script my episodes. I write, I read, I take very detailed notes, and then as I'm going through, I detail them. So my podcasts are not edited at all. The only editing I do, which isn't really editing, is that I have my finger over the pause button for the record, and so I'll pause it, if I get like if I think I'm going to stumble on something, I'll pause it and then I'll take a second to think. But then later on, I never edit anything out. So it's all as it is, really. Don't worry about those TV people you mentioned. You need a partner too to be a better. The thing is with partners, it's so difficult to organize people to do this. Like I try to have people on, but it's so difficult. I couldn't imagine having like consistently people on. Like that'd be brutal. Feel the structure of academia is terrible as it is not well integrated into the fabric of society. Ideally, contemporary papers should come out with YouTube videos and chat. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, that's part of the reason I do this. And I'd see what everyone here thinks, but like I've written a few like academic papers, so to speak, like peer-reviewed things, and like I could obviously make them available, but I could also just like present what I argue, which might be a way to get the ideas out there. But I don't think I have particularly interesting views on anything, just to see if anyone's interested in that. What are your thoughts on religion as mimetic engineering? I have no idea what that means. What are your thoughts on religion as like copying engineering, like mimicry engineering? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that term is. Sorry. Maybe explain it, I can answer. MLK, Bernie Sanders, and sloppy Steve Bannon all began with the same story of socialism of the rich, capitalism for everyone else. Yeah, sure. Thanks, Josh. I agree on one thing. Master's thesis and PhDs are a waste. Some unis in the Netherlands use a system of article publications instead of huge final work nobody will read. Articles are vastly more accessible and respond to current problems. Yeah, like my most recent one that's coming out probably in the next, probably in the new year, is on vaporwave. So if anyone's interested in that, which is definitely more applicable. But that's interesting they do that. I didn't know they did that in the Netherlands, but I'd be on board with that. So yes, but you can only read so much even at top speed. Yeah. Things have changed quite a bit in the field. Yeah, so obviously, and I've heard about people that do their research on something so specific, like a website, and the website goes out, like it rip URL, like it dies pretty much, or it stops being serviced, and so by the time their dissertation is finished, the site no longer exists that they wrote it about. So that's obviously not great, but it's still valuable, but it doesn't really, the applicability of it is kind of. It's not great. You can read so much as you want. Yes, especially since people want to be hot in this attention economy. Baudrillard radical centrist confirmed. Who's that, Josh? Is Baudrillard a radical centrist? What's a radical centrist? Specifically the way that social media and the broader internet present a fractured simulation of reality and how that might affect a person navigating virtual space. I don't know. What are the effects? Like, there was this study done on like the belief that seeing negative content on social media, and I can't remember the conclusion, so I don't know why I'm bringing this up. I should just forget about it because I don't remember the conclusions. Oh God. Yeah. Fractured simulation. I don't even know what a fractured simulation is. I'd be curious to know what what you could say about a fractured simulation. Yeah, but that's exactly why making YouTube videos are crap. David is sort of an exception, but here we are celebrating his 5K subs. Oh, thanks, Ojo Rajo. It's definitely like, and my videos have like 20 ads, there's an ad every like 4 minutes. Yeah, I'm definitely giving over to the system, so to speak. Oh yeah, Josh, for sure. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, for sure, a radical centrist. All right. I think mimetic is used in the Richard Dawkins. Okay, wait. No, mimetics is the science of the transfer of meaning through minds over time. It's like is there not another word for that? Um, Besides like telekinesis, or not telekinesis, telepathy. Yeah, okay. So is religion mimetic engineering? I don't know. Like over time, like is the fact that we have religion maintained because people mimetically transfer it to others, or is it? Are you asking if it's like maintained in a given moment because of its kind of immediate capacity to circulate through a kind of social body? I don't know. If you can elaborate more, I'm curious. Okay. Do you think Ken Wilber style integral theory can solve the postmodern deadlock we live in, or is it just another chick meta narrative? I don't know what that is, so I don't know Ken Wilber actually, so I have no idea. I listen to your videos a lot when I'm doing errands or on the bus and sometimes running. They're so incredibly insightful, and I especially love how you cover Sarah Ahmed's works. Thanks, Excel Garay. Garay. Happy to hear it. Can you explain the difference between Debord's spectacle versus Baudrillard's simulacra? How much time do we have? Debord is too much concerned, and I think that they're like academically and like popularly they're conflated, and I think that has produced a problem, at least in trying to unravel them. In that Baudrillard's really not concerned with like television images per se, whereas Debord and the situationists were saying yes, there's something fundamentally life changing about our engagement with screens. That is a big part of Baudrillard's argument, but that's almost like half the battle. Like to use a Metal Gear reference, Debord is the ground zeros to Baudrillard's The Phantom Pain. Like it is just one bit of the bigger picture. In that Baudrillard sees lays out more of what is at stake when it comes down to the simulacrum, especially in its challenge to seduction, to symbolic exchange, to anything like that. Whereas Debord just is just like television bad. Just yeah. At least that's my. I wish I had more time. I could come up with something better, but reactionary appropriations of Deleuze. I don't know Justin Murphy, but I could guess as to what that might look like. Deleuze has. I don't think that Deleuze is, in my mind, the kind of liberal or extremely radical leftist thinker that some people give him credit for. I think that's obviously there, but he does have these little moments in which he's just like a centrist. Really, he's just a reformist, and like I said, I don't know if you were here earlier, but next week I'm starting 1,000 Plateaus, and that will definitely come out, at least in my reading of him now. You know, he doesn't want to tear down the system. He's definitely on the side of reform, not the side of revolution. And there are like these kind of amazingly individualistic undertones to Deleuze's work. You know, when we think of what it means to be a body without organs, Deleuze is pretty much prescribing a one-way prescription for some people to enact that. And so I'm not at all surprised that reactionaries would take that up to kind of justify their views, not to mention, you know, the fact that his ideas are appropriated in the service of like accelerationism, which is it's obviously pretty problematic. Memetics is the study of how is the study of information and culture. Memetics describes how an idea can propagate successfully. But what do you mean by like religion is mimetic engineering? Like, because if I just replace what you asked, mimetic engineering, you're asking religion is study of information and culture engineering. But I don't really. I'm sorry. I don't really understand, and I swear I'm not trying to be difficult. I just don't like answering questions that I'm not sure about because then I look like a dummy. Radical centrist, yeah, that is pretty funny. Excel Garay, I highly recommended you reading Legacy Russell's Glitch Feminism to add, but also fill in the gaps of Donna Haraway's Yeah. Legacy Russell? Should write that down. And then, yeah, obviously to anyone else, I'm open to suggestions. Legacy Russell, cool. In my opinion, religion and structure of dreams is connected in the Jungian archetypal way. Memes make their way into dreams through the unconscious. Right where do the thoughts come from? I don't know. Y'all are on a different wavelength. Linguistics is mimetic in its nature. Yeah, well, it isn't imminent. Like, that's for sure. Like, it doesn't have its own. Anyways, wasn't Baudrillard post-Marxist at first? I want to give the whole history of that. In a sense, yes. Like, the consumer society and the system of objects was really trying to think Marxism without the stubborn limitations of Marxism, while still maintaining some of the things about it. But it really becomes true, at least the post-Marxist side, with for a critique of the political economy of the sign. Yeah, he's post-Marxist, I think that's fair. But then he just was totally critical of it by a few years later. Naturally, recording and encoding in a medium is essential for linguistics. This is what makes the memetics more of an analogy, as there is a physical meme which is different yet repeats, like a gene. A meme is an idea, a set of ideas is a meme set. Horsfield Murphy is a hoax, just another reactionary that calls himself a leftist. Is that the guy that Murphy is a hoax? Okay. I don't know anything about that. If I teach a compelling idea to another person, then die, that means that meme has survived. If that idea combines with other ideas to become more compelling, it has a higher chance of being spread to more people. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know. I can't disagree with that. I mean, that sounds right to me. I find him a little bit sad. He's clearly having a middle-age crisis. He's trying to hang out with the cool neo-fascist kids like Kant bot, and so I don't even know. I don't know any of these people. Do you think Baudrillard's A Mirror of Production took into account the left-con tendencies of Marxism? As when I try to situate that book, it seems to a reaction on USSR and 68 protests. No. He was, I think in part, he was really writing against, like, in my mind, part of it was him writing against Marcuse and some parts of Marx. And I'm a person, I will defend Marx with every breath I can muster. I am very critical of Marx and Marxism, but I will defend Marx. I think that Baudrillard was writing against the belief in Marx that everything has to come down to, like, production. Everything has to come down to how to properly organize production, how to get to, like, the true use value of things to make everything more efficient. Baudrillard, quite simply, is like, well, how do you determine that? Like, how do you possibly figure out what the proper means are without just dipping into, like, Eurocentric humanist fascism? essentially. So yeah, yeah. I find it okay. Besides hanging with your cats and studying philosophy, what else do you like to do for fun? Any non-philosophy channels you like? Well, I mentioned earlier, I don't. It's channels like on YouTube. I watch. I really liked Bon Appetit before I learned they were all. Well, a number of them were all seriously racist and not paying their, people of color living wage. Yeah, I liked Bon Appetit, but that's obviously not so good. I like Sorted Food, and like that's fun. God, what else? Babish is all right. I just tonight watched Sola from Bon Appetit's new show, which is pretty cool. I don't know what else. What am I subscribed to? I'm so curious now. As I refuel. Oh, oh, loud. How do I even look at my channels? Subscriptions. Oh, subscriptions. Yeah. Well, I watch Seth Meyers. I mean, I find that's a good source of, way to keep up to date with some of the things going on. I watch a lot of guitar videos. So if anyone's interested in guitar, there are a lot of great resources. There's Guitar Lessons 365, who I've probably gotten the most help from. There's, Justin Guitar and Marty. I don't really watch those anymore. But yeah, Guitar Lessons 365 is probably one of the best guitar things if anyone's interested in that. But then otherwise, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, as far as podcasts go, I like Crime Junkie and Supernatural and Stuff You Should Know mostly. And I listen to Scooter's Sleep With Me, which is a sleeping podcast, but honestly, I could probably just listen to my own voice, my own podcast and go to sleep with it because it's so boring. And there are some other people, they got like mostly guitar stuff, really. Hot Ones is funny. I watch that. And God, I don't know. To come off as like a total centrist, I do check in periodically with like CNN to stay up to date with that stuff, keeping a very critical mind in view. Being very critical, of course. I play video games. I like currently playing the Far Cry 5 New Dawn, much to my chagrin. And I'll play Dark Souls 2 after that. Again, I love Dark Souls. if that means anything to anyone. Oh my God. Okay. Any thoughts? I don't know who Curtis Yarvin is. Moldbug. I don't know who that is. Mirror of production still matters today. Social media is the new productive mechanism, adding robustness to the system. Take your pick. Prefer. Yeah, sure. No, you're not throwing me off. I like seeing you guys, you people talk about this stuff. I mean, that's why we're here. Where do you derive hope from in times like these? I have to admit, I'm from the U.S., so maybe your perspective is different, but I'm sure you're plenty aware of the scariness of this election. Oh, yeah. Well, Tim. When I was just watching just recently when Justice Ginsburg died, and just watching the side-by-sides of the Republicans a few years ago saying how they can't possibly elect or bring in a new Supreme Court judge with however like 200 days until the election because it's too soon, and now all of a sudden they're backpedaling. I had such it was so weird. Like it was a very strong reaction, like a fucking like a body reaction that just made me so annoyed, and it made me really reflect on myself because I'm like, oh, black people are getting shot like crazy, and I didn't have this reaction. So obviously, this is something I had to reflect on. But I don't, I don't know. I don't know how people in the States derive hope from. I don't know. And they're, Canada is, it's doing a lot better in my mind, but there's always that risk, right? That it's going to move into just like pure austerity, which is, and it's doing that, like it's tipping that way. And what that'll mean is like we have to keep cutting, get rid of healthcare. Meanwhile, we're giving these corporations, these banks, these big bailouts, giving CEOs millions of dollars as we claim that we can't like pay, healthcare benefits to employees, or like in the case of journalism with, I think it was the Globe and Mail in Canada. I think it was the Globe and Mail. I don't know, laying off a few employees whose salaries wouldn't have even equaled the half of what they gave in terms of bonuses to the CEOs. It's like, is this really the world like we want to make? Like, it's absurd. So memes are the smallest unit of cultural selection, just like genes are of biological selection through which the system evolves. Adapts to reference to speed, though. Selfish gene. Cool. Favorite black metal record? I don't know. There's one. I think it's called The Body, or oh god, that might just be one of the track names. It's been a while. But with that being said, I don't have any real understanding of. Oh yeah. All the waters of the earth turn to blood. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Brutal. Is that it? Yeah, all the waters of the world turn to blood. Good luck with that one. But I don't really listen to black metal, so I don't. That's my only real kind of reference point. Did you watch Jack Saint video on Bon Appetit? Probably not, since you don't follow many channels. Really try to have a look. It's called The Collapse of Bon Appetit. No, I didn't watch that. How is Wittgenstein's philosophy related to Baudrillard? I don't know a whole lot about Wittgenstein. There are a couple of points of contact. God, I don't know. It's I don't feel comfortable enough to say for sure. Are you into processing sound in relation to guitar playing? What do you mean? Like recording my own stuff? Like I put up like a couple of videos, but just for kicks. Like I have no knowledge of kind of sound production or anything like that. Which Dark Souls 2, because I just played through the first one again, and now I want to go through the second one again because I really enjoy those. Gamers Rise Up. Any favorite philosophy channels? I talked about this a little bit earlier, but like I think ContraPoints by far. Rick Roderick, and someone mentioned earlier the Partially Examined Life, and there's Philosophize This. Yeah, I forgot about Stephen West, but that's really good stuff. If you don't know, I'm sure you all know. If you know about me, you know about Philosophize This. But in case you don't know, Philosophize This, it's very it talks about mostly like kind of the big ideas of like a different thinker. Sometimes it talks about a whole book, but Philosophize This is, I think, more of a kind of broad intro to the approach, which someone was asking earlier, if you're still here, what a good intro might be. And Philosophize This, it's good for Deleuze and Guattari, in my mind. Livestream Deus Ex Ultimate Conspiracy Game. Oh yeah, I liked that. I played the two, the Human Revolution and Mankind Divided. And really, Human Revolution was the superior one, and I enjoyed it a lot. I'm also into guitar and music in general. You probably know Adam Neely. Oh yeah. I know Adam Neely. Yeah, I know Adam Neely, and those other people too, like Rick Beato and oh, Music is Win. I don't know his name, his actual name. But yeah. They're all great for sure. Thank you for your videos, by the way. I like listening to them, compare it with my own understanding, but I never muster the courage to comment. Either way, it's really late where I live. See you later. Bye, Chris. Thanks for tuning in. Try to work past the nervousness. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Thank you for making videos. I appreciate the time you put on the side to make them. I'll keep looking for hope down here in the state. Yeah. Good luck. Do you mostly play video games as an escape, or are you sometimes reading game narratives or industry trends through a critical lens? Almost exclusively to escape. Like only in the late in the evening. Like I never ever play during the day, and it's just to it's a way for me to really turn off. Like watching television and or movies. I sometimes just find myself just thinking about stupid work or something, whereas with a video game it forces me to kind of just turn off for a while, which is nice. Ayn Rand's objectivism. Oh yeah, well, you can't talk about Bioshock without talking about Ayn Rand. Obviously, I disagree with it, and the reason I'm hesitating is because I'm trying to find a silver lining or something that I could kind of take out of it. But Ayn Rand, I see nothing there for me. In all, reading the history of philosophy all the way back to Aristotle, I don't find any trace of objectivism, at least as Ayn Rand talks about it. Even Adam Smith, who is, a proponent of, some government regulation and some kind of like state aid with, with people's lives. And even, it's not a huge amount, but still a bit. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, so good luck. I mean, that'd be a good video for sure. I think that there's a book on philosophy, Bioshock and philosophy or something that might be of interest to you, but I don't know. This is great. An ideal curriculum for learning philosophy. Processor bot. It depends what kind of philosophy, because that just might lead to reading dead white guys, and that's not so good, because there's a lot of philosophy done by women and people of color that'll just get glossed over if we're talking about an ideal philosophy curriculum. I don't know. I have no idea what that would look like. Philosophy, this is nice, but really, really weak when it comes to left content. His series on Marx is just plain bad to the extent that I doubt he ever read The Capital. Oh, Philosophize, this is nice. But that's, I mean, that's funny. I don't want to knock Philosophize this, but like, it does seem at times like he's just reading a Wikipedia page, and he's and like, this is what's, this philosopher, and I know that that's probably unfair, but at times I'm listening to it, I'm like, this is a really basic introduction and often these introductions can mischaracterize the thinker, which is why I present books or articles at a time, essays at a time, because I see it necessary to do it that way to really grasp what's going on. But I mean, it's still fantastic stuff. Would you kindly start a game stream? If I knew how to do it, Dylan. I'm really bad at video games too. Like, I'm really garbage, especially if I played online, which I never do, because I don't have the gusto to try to get good at that. And I would just get destroyed. Lost in Time, yeah. Cook Philosophy sure is good. Parsacali. I haven't read. I've never even heard of Jason Babak. Uh, Mo, Mohageg. I don't know how to pronounce that. Mohageg. But I'd be curious, Jason Mohageg. If you're associating with Colasso, I'm going to be very very interested. Jason Mohageg. I don't know if anyone here. Oh, last time someone gave me a recommendation for a conspiracy theory book by this um, by Elisa Langley or Lagalis or something, or like something like that. I don't know if that person is here, but I read it, so it's great. Amy Ireland, her essay "Black Circuit: Code for Numbers to Come" is a favorite of mine. Really good xenofeminist. Amy Ireland. No, I haven't, but I will write that down. I'm very curious. Get to all this stuff, and just wanted to say thanks for everyone who tuned into this. I'll probably do another live thing in like maybe at 10,000 subs. So like in 2 years, would that be good? That'd be a good plan. John Doe. Oh my God. Uh, Thanks for tuning in, Lawrence. I have a buddy who's a leotard expert, and I've been trying to get him on to talk to me about leotard because I don't know anything about leotard. Um, oh, money. Oh, thanks, Dylan. Yeah, I don't know anything about leotard, but one day I'll get there. Oh, you get money in here. Yeah, apparently. Well, that's my brother. That's full disclosure. My brother gave me money. I really don't expect anyone to give me money. Um, but I mean, $3 for 19 people watching. That's $3, and it's not bad. Um, I don't even know. I don't even know what to do with that. Like, does YouTube have like a bank, like an account thing? I don't even know how that works. Yeah. I gotta get. Yeah, Christ. Then I can play Dark Souls 3 at more than 14 FPS. That'd be good. It works like the pachinkos in Japan. You may as well have said it works like the under tendrils of the starfish in the West Atlantic. Like I know, I don't know what that means. But anyways, if anyone has any other questions, I'll probably just hang around for another minute. Um, that guy, John Doe, God, filthy. Well, oh yeah, what the hell is that guy about? That's a weird channel. I don't know. I just don't know anything about it really. He, I don't think so. He seems like a leftist for sure, but I don't know. He has weird content on there. Like he has like does a lot of traveling and stuff. It seems like the furthest thing from a right wing channel, but I just don't know anything about it. Um, no, I haven't seen the book club. See you later, Praful. Yeah, Thousand Plateaus. That'll be next week. That'll come out. Fave anime? Well, Dragon Ball Z. I mean, that's up there. Castlevania is really good. Obviously, I watched Evangelion for the first time, like I guess a year ago or so. and I enjoyed that. It means that there's a workaround to get the money. Is the casino in Japan, but you can't win money because gambling is forbidden. Oh, okay. That there you go. I know nothing about that, so um, yeah. I guess I'll tune out of this because I'm tired. But thanks, thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. I was happy to talk to you, and like I said, maybe I'll do this again at 10,000 subs. Thanks, Swizz. I'll keep it coming for as long as I can. Yeah, take care, everyone. Be safe in these trying times. Now I gotta do the embarrassing. Now you all get to watch as I embarrassingly try to turn this off. Now you get to see my screen.